So there's this question that soldiers might get asked during a promotion board, maybe during a Soldier of the Month board, and the question is, how many trucks are there on an Army installation? Now, there's actually two parts to this question, and I want you to first think about this first part. How many trucks are on an Army installation? So think about your answer, because we're going to be talking about that, as well as part two to that question coming up. What's up, my friends? Welcome to a brand new video. U.S. Army veteran Christopher Chaos, and today we're talking about this cool kind of trick question, fun question that sometimes soldiers get asked during the promotion board. If you are a veteran out there, you probably know the answer to this, but if you're not someone who is in the Army yet, or maybe even some people that are currently in the Army just never heard this question before, and that can be a case too, I'm going to be discussing it. We're going to talk about this. I'm going to give you the answers to it so you're prepared for it. You can quiz your buddies, whatever you want to do. Now, before we dive into it, if this is the type of content you like, you want to learn about the Army, you want to hear all the cool stuff that's going on currently, get some tips, learn about the nostalgia, whatever the case might be, make sure you are subscribed to this channel. Click that subscribe button down below, click on the bell to get alerts, all alerts for when new videos go live, including the live streams, and become part of that awesome notification platoon. So let's talk about this truck question. The answer to the question, one. There is one truck on an Army installation. And some of you, it's possible you were thinking of something with four wheels, maybe a steering wheel, an engine, and that is not what we're talking about when it comes to this question. The answer is one. So what are we talking about? Well, we are talking about, in this case, the little ball, the cylinder that's at the top of the flagpole in front of the headquarters of that Army installation. There's one flagpole, at least officially. I mean, you might have other places that might have their own flagpole, but the official flagpole is the one in front of headquarters, and that has a truck at the top, which is the ball at the top. So there's only one on an Army installation. This is still a question that gets used currently on the boards. I was actually talking to a soldier recently, and they went through the board, I think it was in 2019, 2020, and that was a question that they actually asked them. One of their sergeant majors, their first sergeants, asked them that question, and he was quizzing another soldier in one of my classes, and that soldier had never heard that question, so that soldier didn't know the answer to it. So there is definitely some soldiers that probably have heard this question, but probably some soldiers that have not, maybe even some veterans that have heard this question, and some veterans that have not heard this question. So that is what it is talking about. It's talking about the ball that is at the top of the flagpole in front of the headquarters, the official flagpole for that Army installation. So there's only one truck that is on an Army installation. There actually used to be, I guess, back in the day, used to be like an eagle at the top of it, but they found that during high winds that the flag would sometimes get tangled on it and get caught on it, so that was a pain in the ass, so they just switched it to being like a cylinder ball. Now let's get to part two of the question that sometimes happens, and that is, what is inside of the ball? Technically, it's a trick question, okay? I'm gonna first give you the answer that they want to hear, and then I'm gonna give you the actual true answer to this question, but this one varies. Some people don't go this in depth with the second part of the question. Some people just ask the first part of the question because of the kind of deal that I'm going to talk about here with the answer they probably want to hear and the real correct answer. So the answer that usually they're looking for if they do ask you part two to the question of what is inside the truck is they're going to look for the answer of you saying that there's a razor blade, there's a bullet, and there's a single match. The reason for these is that in the event that the installation is overrun and you are the sole survivor, you're supposed to climb that flagpole or knock that flagpole down, remove the truck, and get to these objects on the inside. You use the razor blade to cut the stars out of the flag, and then use the match to burn the remains of the flag, and then you have that bullet that you can either use to take your own life or kill one enemy. And somewheres around the flagpole, some people say that it's supposed to be where the flagpole falls, where the truck comes to rest. You dig down and that's where the pistol is. Some say it's 6 paces away from the flagpole in a certain direction. It varies, but there's supposed to be a pistol buried, and you can use that pistol to use that single round. There's also versions of the story that also says there's like a grain of rice in there, and then a penny too. The rice is supposed to give you energy, and then the penny is supposed to be, I guess, to like, I think I heard something like to take out their eyes, the enemy's eyes or something. I don't know what the deal is with the penny, but there's versions of that too. I think it's an older version, but the common version is the razor blade, the match, and the single bullet, and then somewheres near the flagpole, there's a gun buried. So pretty crazy, right? Are we really going to be in a situation where you're the last one alive, or where the enemy has taken over an army installation and you need to do this? Most likely not. But here's the key thing though. If they do ask part 2 of that question, that is usually the answer they're looking for of what's inside of the truck. Now, here's the real answer of what is inside the truck. Nothing. There is nothing inside of that truck. The ball at the very top of the flagpole is a solid steel ball. There is nothing inside of it. Where this whole thing comes from, I don't know. Maybe way, way back in the day, it used to be true, but current day, it is not true. I have talked to people that have actually, you know, been around like somewhere where they were like tearing down an army installation or remodeling a flagpole or relocating the headquarters, and a couple of different, you know, scenarios where people said that they were curious about this because they always heard that story too. And when they were in that process, they checked it out and no, it's just a solid steel ball. So if you were someone that for a while, like I believed it, you know, maybe you were someone too that believed it for a long time, now you know that there's nothing inside of that ball. It's just a myth that maybe was true at some point in time, but current day military, current day army, it's just a solid steel ball. That ball is really just there for decorative purposes to keep, I guess, condensation and water out of the flagpole. There's probably several other kind of reasons for it, but it doesn't contain anything inside of it. There's no pistol buried X amount of meters or paces away from the flagpole. None of that stuff. I would imagine if that was the case, there would be some crazy soldiers, maybe some drunk soldiers or whatever. They'd be like, hey man, let's go over to the headquarters and let's dig up that pistol and let's see if it's really there. And so you probably have like weird people maybe doing that. I mean, usually the headquarters buildings have like cameras out in front and there's usually someone on duty all the time, so they probably stop them anyways. But nonetheless, if it was a true thing, I mean, you might have even still had people trying to do it because they believed it was a true thing, trying to look for that thing. I don't know. It'd be kind of a crazy kind of situation. But the key thing is don't go looking for it because it's not there. And if you're in a situation where the installation is being overrun, well, I'm sure we're going to send in the National Guard. We're going to send in reinforcements, and we're probably in some pretty serious trouble if an army installation is being overrun, especially in the United States. Now, I've actually done a video that actually talks about some different myths in the Army and kind of debunking those myths. If you'd like to see that video, I got available for you right here. My latest video upload is available right there. Check out links in the description box. I got some notebooks for you guys if you guys really need some notebooks. They got some cool designs to them and some new ones coming out pretty soon. So check out links in the description box. Like the video. I'm Christopher Chaos. See you next time. See ya.